Hello, everyone, and welcome to the class. We are live right now. We have well over 200 people tuning in from all over the world, and today we are talking all about Apple Music and iTunes 12.2. One of the very important things I need to mention during this class is the date, and I'll tell you why in a moment. It is July 10th of 2015. That means that this software just came out, and the reason why I need to mention it is that I have been involved with Apple today, that I have discovered a few bugs in the software, and these are not major bugs, but they are the kind of bugs that will be fixed, corrected in the next coming days or weeks. So I just want you to acknowledge that if something should go wrong today, if I go to do something and it just bugs out, it is a known issue, and I've been on the phone with their team to go through this stuff. So hey, looking out for you. I'm trying to do my best. So we're going over Apple Music today. I want to tell you right up front, I definitely love this software on the phone more than the computer. And if you have a phone, it is right now available, ready to go on your iPhone. You do need to just upgrade or update rather your iOS software to the latest version so you can get it. But it's pretty slick, and I think you're going to enjoy it. Now, the Apple Music portion of it is a subscription, and one of the things that I mentioned in my review video of this is I feel, and I think a lot of you agree, and in the comments, I can tell you do, Apple is running into a major branding issue because on the Mac, it's referred to as iTunes. On the phone, it's referred to as Music, but then there's another app called the iTunes Store, and Apple Music is somewhere in the middle. It's a very gray section. I could go further into that metaphor, but I'm just going to leave it at that so we can kind of get started here. So what I'm going to do today is kind of start off with the phone. I'm going to mirror my phone so you can all see it, and then what I'm going to do is switch over to the Mac side so you can see the iTunes version. So the first thing I want to do is kind of show you about setting up Apple Music, getting your settings all ready to rock and roll. Okay, so here at the very top left corner, and please note that we are right now on the little heart icon that says For You. We're going to go up to this icon at the top. It looks like a little face icon. Okay, and from here, we have two key settings. You can choose Artist for You and see who you're following. So let's go into Choose Artist for You. And what's going to do is it's going to show you these little bubbles. And my own little personal opinion, I'm not a big fan of the way that this works because they really are like bubbles, and meaning they float around and they can be very difficult to nail down, especially if you have quite a few of them. So what you're going to do with this is anything that you really love. So let's say, for example, let's look at electronic right here. Pretend I love electronic music. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to double tap on it and see how it becomes bigger, just like that. If you accidentally do it too much, you can tap on it again. It'll return to the original size. There we go. If there's any category here that you just really don't like if I'm just not a fan of experimental music, you can actually press and hold on it, and in 2 seconds, it will remove itself. And in a very similar fashion, sorry, we got that little delay there, we're going to now go to Next at the very top right. And it's going to do the same kind of thing, but with artists. So it's going to show us all these different people, and you can double tap on them if you really love them, single tap on them if you kind of like them, and if you really are not a fan, let's see if I can find one. I don't even know who FKA Twigs is, so I'm going to press and hold to remove it. Now, this is where you can really start to see what I'm talking about. See how I'm not touching my phone, and these little bubbles are kind of like rolling around. If I kind of swipe to the right, if there's one that's kind of on the cusp, it kind of floats back out of frame. So if I can make a little request, possibly, if anyone out there from Apple's watching, can't we just do a list or something? This is just, I don't know. It's cute, or as I'm stealing this line from someone else, cute, but stupid. Hit done, okay? And you're done. You can also hit more artists, by the way, and that'll give you a larger list of folks to choose from. The other thing you can do in here, if you want, is there's a little thing here for following, okay? And you can just kind of go through and choose which artists you may want to follow. Now, I'm going to throw a little bonus feature in here, and I need to give a shout out because I didn't know this one. One of our members, Mr. Perry Carty, I believe is the last name, researched this, found it out, and sent it to me via email, so a big thank you to Perry. So you may notice that my screen looks a little bit different than yours, specifically right here where it says Playlists. One of the features that was added to Apple Music is called Connect, and it's basically a way for users to get a behind-the-scenes, supposedly, experience of their various artists. So maybe one of their artists, records a little video backstage at one of their concerts with their phone. Something like that. Once again, in my own personal opinion, cute, but stupid. It actually very much resembles Ping, which was a failed social network launched by Apple years ago, then killed off, and now seemingly brought back from the digital grave. So if you could care less about that feature, I would like to take one quick moment and show you how to remove it, and you can instead swap it out with playlists. It's a very strange process. I never would have ever imagined you'd go through this to make this happen. So what you have to do is actually go into your iPhone's settings screen. From settings, you're going to go into general. From general, you're going to go into, cheat sheet, restrictions. Scroll down a little bit. We have restrictions right there. Now, for this, what you're going to have to do is, if you're doing this for the first time, you would be creating a passcode. So forgive me while I blur the screen. And from here, what you're going to do is, you'll notice right down there, right now, towards the middle, Apple Music Connect, that is by default turned on. If you turn it off, it will replace Connect with playlists. Very, very cool feature. The reason why Perry researched that was that one of the things I had mentioned in our other live class was I said, how great would it be if you could just move around or swap out these icons? Well, you really can't swap them out, but frankly, playlist is the one that I actually cared about. So a big thank you to Perry for showing me how to do that one. We all learn through some method. So let's go through what these different categories are. The first one here is For You, and this is basically a series of playlists of music that it thinks you might like. I'm a big Maroon 5 fan, so it pulled that one up. Ed Sheeran, cool dude. Jason Derulo, okay. And some of these are going to be albums, and some of them are going to be collections. So, for example, it had seen that I like Adele, and so here's kind of a collection of Adele love songs and ballads. Okay, and some of these you may love, and others maybe not so much. What I do want to mention is if you find one that you really like, you can save it, and it's important that you do it that day because otherwise it's going to disappear tomorrow. So just for showing you how to do it, let's use Adele here as an example. I'm going to tap on that. And so you'll see here that it's created, a little playlist. It's not a ton of songs, but it's a good amount. Okay, certainly enough to keep you busy for a little bit. If you want to save this playlist, just think the word add. You're adding the playlist to your saved playlist, and that's where this little plus symbol comes into play. So I'm going to do that right now, and you're going to see where that comes into play later on when we switch over to the Mac version of iTunes. We have a little heart icon. Okay, heart is basically, it's like thumbs up on YouTube, which, by the way, if you're watching this video, we much appreciate it if you click that. It's just you telling them good job, and it's going to use that information to create better playlists for you in the future based on your taste. Another quick little request I would like to throw out there, if Tim Cook, if you're listening out there, I personally believe that part of knowing someone's taste is also knowing what they don't like. So I would love to see, frankly, just a thumbs up or a thumbs down button. Part of knowing who you are is knowing what you don't like. So I would love to see that feature added if possible. Then we see this little icon right here. It's a box with an arrow pointed up. For a lot of you who are Mac or iPhone users, it should look very familiar. That is the share button. S-H-A-R-E, not the singer. So if you wanted to share this playlist with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, email, or through a message, don't really know why you do those last two, you can do that. Cancel. Then we have the ellipsis icon, the dot, dot, dot. And that's going to basically be your settings for a lot of these different things. And based on where it is, for example, the ellipsis next to an individual song is going to be different than what you get when you're up here with the playlist. So when I'm on the playlist, okay, these are my options here. Most importantly, make available offline, okay, remove from my music, share, etc. So if you want to save one of these individual songs, okay, like maybe you don't love the whole playlist, but you're like, wow, that song, don't you remember? Oh, love that song. I don't really remember it. But anyway, what you can do is tap on that little ellipsis icon, and there's a few different options here. Start station means you're going to basically be creating a custom radio station based around that premises, that artist, that song. So it's going to look for other music that's in the same kind of genre, same category, and play it for you. It's kind of cool, right? Add to my music. I find add to my music and make available offline ridiculously complicated because they are different. So the important thing here I want you all to be aware of is a fear of mine in regards to Apple Music is for any of you out there who have cell phones without unlimited data plans, which, by the way, is the majority of you. The reason why is if you don't hit make available offline, you're streaming. You're playing off the internet. And if you go on, let's say, a 6-hour road trip and all of your music is playing off the internet when you could have downloaded it, you're going to blow through all of your cellular data for the entire month just in that one 6-hour trip. So it's very important to be careful with this stuff, and I don't really have a recommendation for Apple how to make this better. It's got to be somehow more clear. So if you want to add to my music is essentially just a playlist. It's kind of a very broad playlist. It's kind of a dumping ground for music that you like. I guess that's the best term I can come up with. Okay, but make available offline means you do not need an internet connection in order to be able to play it. Also, for those of you who are going to be getting a new iPhone at some point soon, this is going to be part of the reason why I'm going to recommend that whatever size iPhone you might think you want, go a step up. I don't recommend the 16 gigabyte iPhone to anyone these days. Minimum 64. Show song in iTunes, that's if you want to purchase it. Share song, we kind of already went over that. Add to playlist, okay? So this is kind of a cool feature. Again, this is where the bug comes into play. So you can add this song to a pre-existing playlist that you already have. Just to very quickly summarize the issue that I had discovered. So from the phone, you can take any song, whether it's from radio or Apple Music, and you can add it to a playlist. There seem to be some bugs when you try to do the same thing from the computer. The next one we have here is new. So this is pretty predictable. It's new music, okay? So you can go through here. The ellipsis icon, once again, you can do the same things. You can add it to a playlist, etc. And then we have radio. Radio is not part of Apple Music. So if you don't pay for Apple Music, you can still gain access to what you see here. The main feature that Apple is promoting is Beats One. Personally, I'm not a big fan of it. It is definitely tailored to a very specific type of audience, millennials, which technically speaking, yes, I'm technically part of. Scrolling down a little bit, you can see here they have some other featured stations. You'll see some of the stuff here that I occasionally listen to. But you can tap on any of these and listen to them. These are not live. I want to make that clear. It's just going to play random songs. It's very similar to Pandora, okay? So you can go through those and check those out on your own. And then we have playlists, okay? So playlists, I've been playing a lot with this, by the way, so not even all the music you see here is actually mine. Remember how I hit add for Adele? Notice it's now right there. So I can save that playlist, and even after they clear it out tomorrow, I can go back and check it out whenever I want. It's kind of a cool feature. So under playlists, we have all playlists. Okay, so this is everything that I've synced over from my computer, etc. It's all there. And then we have My Music. My Music can get to be very, very confusing. Okay, so this is going to be a combination of music on your computer, music that you've recently added through Apple Music. Okay, so you'll find everything there. My personal recommendation to all of you is to do this trick where you add playlists back to the bottom. It is so much easier to navigate. The next thing I want to show you is a little bit about the mini player. So if you go and tap on a song, you should see that it pops up here at the very bottom. It's the mini player. You have your play or pause button right here, as well as your 3 dots. And if you tap somewhere in the middle, it's going to pop up just like that. Okay, so this is kind of a cool feature. It downloads the album artwork, so you can see that in the background. Once again, you have your ellipsis icon right here, your shuffle option right here, okay, and repeat. All of those options are right there. If you didn't know, this little icon right here is AirPlay. So if you have something like Apple TV, you can sling your music onto your television, your home theater, whatever you want. Pretty cool feature. Okay, let's get out of this. Let's go to the Mac version and show you a little bit about that. So if you've seen my class on the older version of iTunes, iTunes 12.0, or was it 0.1, you may be aware of that I am not the biggest fan. I'm still not a big fan. One thing I'd like to recommend to everyone is when you're here under the Playlist tab, by default, this is set to albums. I find it to be very, very confusing because if you have like a version that's downloaded through one method. Like, look at this. We have 3 versions of the same thing here, okay? And yes, those are all legally downloaded. That's why I tend to recommend click up here at the top right on albums and go to songs. It's just easier to organize, okay? Just like that. Your playlist you should see here on the left-hand side. If you want to create a new playlist, it's as easy as going to the little plus symbol here down at the bottom left corner. So you can hit new playlist from selection if you've already selected all of the songs. A smart playlist, not the biggest fan of it, or new playlist folder. So maybe you have, best music from the 80s and you have pop music, rock music, jazz, whatever it may be. So let's do new playlist, and I'm just going to name something random. Let's just call it test 3, because I already have test 1 and 2. And now what you're going to do is you're going to manually add your music to this playlist. This is what I love to do for all of my music. I find it much, much easier to organize this stuff manually. So you can go through the music library. Make sure you're clicked up here at the top left corner. And you can hold the command key if you're on a Mac, or the control key if you're on a PC. And you can start to select a bunch of music. Oops, sorry. And what you can do is when you're done, you can drag it and drop it into that playlist. And for me, that's one of the best ways to create playlists if you're not on your phone, okay? So there you go with that. I did skip over, but I want to talk briefly about my music, okay? It's just kind of everything, okay? So all of your music from everywhere, it's all here. You'll notice that on mine, some of these songs have a little cloud with a down arrow, and others, if we scroll especially further down, my guess is, do not. Okay? What that means is that the cloud with the arrow down either means that it's music that you have gotten through Apple Music, or it's music that you have purchased that you had then deleted from your computer. So you still have access to it, because keep in mind, every time you purchase music, what you are actually purchasing is a license, okay? That's the reason why if your computer is ever wiped out, you can get back all of your music, provided that you purchased it through Apple. One last trick before we move on. If you did not already know, see up here it says name and then artist. All of these are sortable categories. So you may notice that I have mine organized by date added. That's because usually when I have to add music to my music, it's usually going to go from here to something like a playlist, okay? So if you click on date added, it'll sort it that way. If you click it again, it's going to reverse it, okay? If you don't see any of these categories up here, what you can do is Mac users, you will secondary click in this little white area. PC users, right click, and you'll see all of these sortable categories right here. Another thing I'll show you that, again, I find to be very confusing is this right here. These are 2 new categories, iCloud download, but more this one, iCloud status. Okay, so what this will show you is the actual location of this music. So if it says Apple Music, for example, Rihanna here, if I end my subscription to Apple Music, that song is going away. Okay, whereas others here, you'll see it says purchased, okay, and others will say uploaded. Okay, uploaded basically means you downloaded it either through a different website, maybe through Amazon, a CD, something like that. Next here we have For You. By the way, that little flash that you saw on the screen that said Apple Music, that is the only time the word Apple Music is visible. So add this to my list, okay? Apple Music is it's a very confusing term because wouldn't you think that you'd see it up here in the top navigation menu? You don't. Anyways, For You. This is the exact same thing as what you saw on my phone earlier. It's just a slightly different view. Why is Miley Cyrus showing up there? I have no idea. But you'll see that all right there. And once again, this will change daily. New looks the exact same. Radio, okay, we have right here. And once again, the bug that I was mentioning to you, check this out. So I'll hit Workout Anthems for a moment and hit pause. Okay. If you hit the little ellipsis icon up here, notice you cannot go from here to a playlist. You have to go add to my music, then you have to go from there to a playlist. Feature I think that should be added. Connect, okay? We're basically skipping over Apple Connect, but again, it is a way to kind of see what's going on with different musicians. I'm sure there's going to be a handful of people who are going to find this feature cool, but based on the success of ping. I don't personally see it really going anywhere. To my knowledge, there's no way to remove this from iTunes. Okay? I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm not saying it's not possible, but to my knowledge, there's no way to do it. And then we have the iTunes Store. The iTunes Store is very specifically for purchasing music. Okay? If you do hit play on one of these songs here, it's only going to play a snippet of it. It's about 1 minute and 30 seconds, I believe, these days. Whereas if you just search for the exact same song through New, or For You, for that matter, you can listen to the entire song if you're an Apple Music subscriber. So, needless to say, this software is very new. I think it's very promising. And one of the things I want to mention about iTunes and Apple Music is I want to compare it to its obvious competitor, which is Spotify. And then, of course, there is Pandora, but Pandora is pretty different. What I do admire about Apple Music is that they have come forward and said, we are going to pay artists their fair wage. Now, I don't know what that actual wage is. I'm not a musician. I don't have, I think, any friends at this moment who are musicians, but they're certainly paying them better than Spotify. To give you an example, and I mentioned this in the review video, and granted this is using Pandora, but everyone knows Pharrell, who did the song Happy, which was the #1 song of last year. Pharrell got paid $3,000 for that song through Pandora. So that's pretty pitiful for the #1 artist of the year. So bravo to Apple for doing the right thing. I do think they have some work to do on this. And for those of you who are live and those of you who should view this video immediately after it comes out, you may be aware of that Apple's giving everyone a 3-month free trial of this stuff. If you have not yet signed up for that free trial, you might want to consider waiting a month before you start. Because right now, myself included, all of us, we're having to, yes, we get a 3-month free trial with bugs. So I hope they fix it. I have good faith in them that they will, but it's just a little bit of a ways away. A couple quick tricks I want to give you here, and this one we're actually going to do in a separate video as well, so some of you may end up seeing this twice. For those of you out there who have been using Spotify, okay, one of the things that might be a little bit annoying is if you are like me and if you've been creating these elaborate playlists on Spotify, now you got to move over to Apple Music, if you should choose to do so. Wouldn't it be nice if there was an easy way to just sync everything from Spotify over to Apple Music? Well, guess what? There is a way to do it. So here we go. There's a little piece of software created by a European company. I don't know exactly where they are, but it's called Stamp, Spotify to Apple Music Playlist. Pretty cool. It costs €5 for the paid version. So for you Americans, it's a little bit over $5 for that. What it will do, it's pretty simple. It will convert your playlists from Spotify and move it to Apple Music. Now, they do have a free version. It will do it 10 songs, I think it is, for free. And for all of us out there, it's like, well, you could move 10 songs in 5 minutes. But for €5, I think that's a pretty cool price for something that would be hours, potentially, to recreate. So if you want to check this out, we are going to do a separate video, but the instructions are fairly straightforward. And yes, by the way, this is available for Windows as well. So you Windows users are not left in the dark. One of the cool tricks I want to show you in regards to Apple Music has to do with Siri, the automated voice assistant that comes with your iPhone. So Siri has a few different commands that he or she can use to pull up kind of cool music. So check this out. And we'll pray that I have good luck, because I haven't always, admittedly. Play the #1 song from 1983, which was when I was born. So you can see, it pulled up the #1 song from that year, and it's going to start to play it. And I'm going to hope that I can catch it before it does, so that I don't have to edit this video further. We'll just let it load. Just assume that it works fine. The other thing you can do, example commands that you can give to Siri, are things like play workout music, play classical music, whatever you want. It's got quite a few different commands that you can use with that. Another thing that's worth mentioning about Apple Music is it also includes music videos. So if sometimes I like to, when I'm at the gym, music is good, but if you have a nice visual in front of you, it's not a bad thing. So what you can also do is you can search for music videos and create playlists around them, and it'll just kind of go from one video to the next. So just to show you the process here, I created a blank playlist called Music Videos. You can then go here into For You, for example, and search someone in the, let's see, let's get a, ooh, I love that. I love the song Fight Song. I think that might be the song of the summer. So here, yes, you can see the top results. These are the songs, but if we scroll down a little bit, hopefully, there we go. We have the music video. So I can click on that little ellipsis, and I can do Add to My Music. This is easier to do from the phone because you can save a step. Go into My Music, hit the ellipsis again, Add to Music Videos. Kind of cool, right? So I thought I'd show you that. And by the way, yes, you can mix up video and audio. You do not have to have a separate playlist for video, separate from what you have for audio. Other things you can do with Apple Music, books. One of the things, you might have seen this on the screen in the background. I'm actually I am into hypnosis. There's a ton of hypnosis sessions on iTunes. And there's this one guy, I'm going to give him a shout out. I wasn't going to do this, but I think I'll give it to him anyway. If you have trouble relaxing at night, I know for me, sometimes my brain just doesn't want to go to sleep. There's an amazing hypnotherapist by the name of Dick Sutphen, Sutphen. He has some really amazing hypnosis sessions that you can get through Apple Music. Normally, they're $20 a piece. So for me, it's like if I buy one a month, the $9.99 for Apple Music is well worth it. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to head over to the live class here and answer their questions. Mr. Mark Collier is with us, has been flagging those questions. For those of you who have been watching this either through our website or through YouTube, thank you for watching. Please click that thumbs up like button. We do appreciate it if you do that. Check out our website. PCClassesOnline.com is a free public service, as all the people who are here live right now will attest to. We have a lot of fun doing this, and tell your friends. And also, if you want, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll put a little banner icon on the video, so you can do that with one click. You can head over and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/PCClassesOnline. That's all for me, everyone. Class dismissed.